Good evening. Tonight's concert is 100% organic and locally sourced. The only ingredients are practice and rehearsal. So that everyone can enjoy the benefits of 160 eager musicians, we invite you to silence all your electronic digital sounds so that you can enjoy our real world sounds in concert. It's guaranteed to be fresh, tasteful, and full of variety, delectable. A fine start, and that's great. Before I do anything else, I have to thank the members of Music Mentors, and Mrs. Arzelanian is going to come up and give an invitation for you to be a part of this wonderful parents group. All the gentlemen on the stage, the people who passed out the programs, they are absolutely the unseen heroes in all of Mentors' music program. They are in turbo mode, and I'm going to make sure they get some recognition, perhaps statewide. But Mrs. Arzelanian, thank you for so much for all you and Mrs. Meadows do, Mr. Muhan. We really couldn't do this without you guys.
As Mr. Shelton said, my name is Angie Arzelanian. I am the secretary of the Music Mentors organization. On behalf of all the Mentor School band programs, I'd like to welcome you to our program tonight. This is a great time of the year. It's our spring concert season. Music, as we know, brings everybody joy, joins everybody as a community, and it does improve your child's grades. It also gives them better ACT scores. When you join the music programs here at Mentor High or through the Mentor Middle Schools, you're going to have an instant family here with hundreds of other band kids. Please be involved in music in high school and experience all that we have to offer. We have so many opportunities here at the next level. There's jazz band, wind ensemble, symphonic orchestra, pep band, pit orchestra for theater, just so many opportunities. Where are all the 8th graders? All right. So Mrs. Meadows wanted me to make sure that I talk to you especially and make sure that all of the kids listen, because we want to make sure that you sign up for the Fighting Cardinal Marching Band. We all know it as FCMB. This is a great first way to experience the high school's music program at its finest, and it's just coming up in just a couple short months, actually not even a couple weeks. Your director, Mr. Shelton, has given you such a phenomenal start, so we want you to continue with your love of music and march for the high school football teams and march with us in the band program. For the parents, it's just as awesome for you to be involved as it is for the kids. Music Matters is the booster organization of bands for the middle and high schools. These kids here, they're the cream of the crop in the Mentor school system, and it's a pleasure to serve them and their directors. We do a tag day fundraiser, we sell spiritware, we do dine to donates, we feed 240 plus kids during band camp, chaperone many games, competitions, and we need your help to do all that. There are many, many ways to get involved here at the high school in the band program, and we're very blessed to have very musical opportunities in our school system. I highly suggest you visit our website, which is www.musicmentors.org, to learn more. You can sign up for our President Terry Meadows weekly e-newsletter. It's the very best way to stay informed, especially with sign-ups for the marching band coming up. There are also additional monthly meetings that we would like you to come and become involved in and learn all the doings and things that go on. You can also sign up for the emails at our website, which is at musicmentors.org. So on that note, I just am looking forward to seeing all of the 8th graders next year as musical freshmen, especially coming up soon during the summer as part of our FCMB. Thank you and enjoy the concert.
Back to the big group. The first piece taught us that notes are easy, resting is hard. Geology will be led by the person who started summer band. That's my good friend, golfing buddy, and ace table tennis player, by the way, Tim Yule. He and I have been buddies for a long while. He started summer band to keep kids in shape. And geology presents life as layers. There's a layer of childhood, adolescence, adulthood. We pile on top of that. And the band occurs in layers. We have low, middle instruments, high instruments. The pressure gets hot sometimes. And joining us on stage, we have several distinguished people on and off stage tonight. Mrs. Kinsey, our principal, is joining us on oboe this evening.
Is that cool or what, that your principal played in the band? Wow. I have to congratulate Mr. Shelton on a very successful career and tell you a very short story because I know we're supposed to be listening. When I was I retired in 2000, and when I was teaching at Memorial in their band, not as good as Ridge Band, of course. Not then it was better, but now it's so good at Ridge. Mr. Shelton actually substituted for me, and I remember after 3 days of being out, I came back to school and one of my students saw me come in the door and said, "Oh, you're back." And I said, well, yeah, I'm back. I'm used to them saying, oh, you're back. I said, why? He said, oh, we really love their substitute. That was Mr. Shelton. So we have been friends for a very long time. He said that I started summer band, that was 45 years ago. I am now turning into summer band director, and summer band is something that, Ethan, come here. Summer band is something that we do to ensure that your instruments get proper use, and I had a clarinet player at Hopkins in like 1972, and we came back in September, and I said to the class, get your clarinets out, and she sat there as a sixth grader and opened her case, and I said, put your clarinets together, and she said, I forgot how, and I said, we need to do something for these kids to have fun over the summer playing their instruments. So this guy right here was in summer band last year. He didn't know I was going to do this, right?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of summer band?
I like the music, and, well, almost everything was pretty good. I liked it all.
Okay, the real question is, are you coming back this summer?
Yes.
There's my best sales pitch right there. They're coming back. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to protect your investment and keep these kids playing. Thank you, sir. I look forward to it. Join summer band. There are application forms in the hallway. Have a great night.
When I choose pop music, I'm very careful. Number one, it has to satisfy musical objectives. It has to teach you something about the instrument. It has to teach you something about all of music, and it has to teach you something about a little life. This tune's made it all the way to the Super Bowl, and it should, because look how many people it took to write it. Now, the melody's not much there, but what I want you to focus on, and this will be very important later on, the inner voices of the band have parts that you don't sometimes pay attention to, but all the composers that you will hear tonight that are, again, locally sourced, all come from the inside of the band. I want you to listen to the alto sax, the French horn, the smooth, stable part instead of that's catchy and everything, but what makes this piece effective is that some people have that and some other people are on a low metal groove. So listen to our inner voices after Nick plays his solo. As I said, our music tonight is locally sourced. Mr. Len Orsino is a former band director from Chardon Middle School. He's a prolific composer, published over, I believe, 500 compositions. Most of them have clever titles like this one, The Plight of the Bumbling Bee, You Eco People-Minded, We Don't Get Much of Our Food Without the Little Pollinators, so I've had to overcome my lifelong fear of these little critters and learn to embrace them. thank all the wonderful people in the acknowledgments that I've done. Is Superintendent Miller here? Because I really want to thank him for his support. It takes athletics, it takes academics, and it takes good arts to make a composite district. And if you didn't feel it was important, then we wouldn't have what we have here tonight. Really appreciate it. This next one, I told you there were some special people in the audience. Hi, Cassidy. Birthday was last month, and I'd like to dedicate, she's taken up drums. And I'd like to dedicate this rock classic to Cassidy here, Smoke on the Water. And there's always a map hanging in my classroom. The band will always learn where the music comes from. This takes us to Switzerland. If you don't know the story, they will be able to tell you without Googling it on their iPads. That's the backstory on it. This one's for you, Cassidy. That's you next year. Geology was from summer band, and so is parts. We never get tired of playing it. That breathtaking range of emotions that you heard in this wonderful band is made possible by having the ideal balance of low, middle, and high instruments. We have always had a great tuba sections at Ridge when they switch over. This year we have 4, count them, 4. And each one of them would very much like to dot the I in the OSU Marching Band script, Ohio. That'd be great. Victor Hugo is quoted as saying, "Music expresses that which cannot be put into words and that which cannot remain silent." This next piece, Roosh, which is a real word, by the way, it was a spelling bee champ back in 1985 or something like that, uses unexpected intervals to express these times in our lives when we're left feeling wondering, puzzled, feeling vulnerable, and perplexed. You will hear some sections play very long melodic lines while others have very short patterns. It features a bass clarinet, bassoon, bari sax, and 4, count them, tubas. dedication to my beloved wife, Debbie. Heart and soul is what I've tried to give to Mentor here. Next selection is an American classic. Boom, ba-doom, 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 da-ba-da-boom, da-ba-ba-doom, ba-doom, da-ba-da-bum. You can go look it up. We'll give you a sample of what it might sound like had jazz not been conceived in New Orleans. Fortunately for us, at the dawn of the 20th century, jazz was discovered. I've made little notes in the bulletin. We'll be applying all the little idioms and stylistic adjustments you see printed in your program, and some fine duo team drumming on the drum set. And that last one, the seventh chords, and I know you're not theory majors, but we will help you on that one. They're very popular in jazz, rock and roll. We'll help you see what you are hearing. You'll understand. Takes some work, but we make those adjustments. It brings peace alive. Is Emily Sutton in the house? Where are you? You're one of our founding, Emily, are you here? Emily's a former student who's the manager of the Dunkin' Donuts across the way at the mall now. And she played sax when she was here in school, and she made a donation that made this next instrument possible tonight. So I really, really, really appreciate that. I've had over 40 instruments donated since I've been here 28 years in Mentor. So when you're not using it anymore, I'm sure there's somebody else who can put it to good use. We want all the other 8th graders to go on to the high school. Here's Justice. know she loves playing that 7-foot concert grand. That's really powerful. I enjoyed that. And now this next tune I would like to dedicate to my granddaughter Kylie. She's saving up for a horse. They farm down in Killbuck, Ohio, and that's very close to her heart. Let's see my notes on check. Once upon a time in South Carolina, there were a herd of wild mustangs that was saved from extinction. That's the inspiration behind the song, but we invite you to move beyond the melody and harmony and listen to how this piece expresses the poetry of life itself. Helping to sculpt a marvelous mix of colors and textures is what I will truly, truly, truly miss about making music with these children. You'll hear the results of having students in the band who are also in choir. That's been one of the best changes Mentor's done. We invite you to let your imaginations run wild with Shackelford Banks.
Thank
I've tried to do what I can to help the cause of music here in Mentor, but the ball was rolling long before I showed up on the stand. 255, 42, yeah, it's the first short number I ever memorized in Mentor, and that's Mr. Merle Zimmerman. He's been the backbone. I list him as emeritus because whenever I get stuck, I think, how would Merle do this? So as he comes on, we'll play, we should please rise for the playing of our national anthem.
I retired from the Rich Bands in '89. I've had 25 years of great musical retirement. I spent 15 years playing in the Lakeland Band. I play in the sax quartet every month. I play in the Swingtime Big Band, and I have a dozen private pupils that I just love immensely. My wife and I are seated right over here on the aisle. If you played in the Rich Band anywhere between 1963 and '89, and our trails haven't crossed at all in all that time, I would be over there, and I would be very happy to renew our acquaintances. Thank you.
name's Steve Paremba. I'm the band director here at Mentor High School. I just wanted to say real quick, it's been a real pleasure working with these 8th graders this year. I hope, and they know this because I tell them this a lot, that I see every single one of them up here at Mentor High School next year involved in the band. As Mrs. Arcelanian was saying before, every year we have new crops of 8th graders coming up, and if you've seen the marching band, we had almost 240 students in the marching band this year, and we don't get those without the 8th graders that keep coming. So those of you that are in 6th grade, 7th grade right now, we want to see you in band up here at Mentor High School, and we have a fantastic music program here in Mentor, and it continues on at the high school. There's so many opportunities up here that we want everybody to get involved in, and we look forward to having you here. And I just want to thank Mr. Shelton for giving us fine musicians year after year after year, and it's been a great tradition at the middle schools. As you saw Mr. Zimmerman on stage a minute ago, my band director, Mr. Yole, was on stage conducting a while ago, and I was actually one of the people that when Mr. Yole was gone and Mr. Shelton was our sub, I was actually one of the people that was saying, oh man, you're back already? Like, you know, a couple more days. So we really appreciate everything that Mr. Shelton's done. I wish him the best in his retirement. His wife's retiring at the same time, so we're all going to be working while they're sitting and drinking coffee and enjoying everything in the morning, so not too bad. Mrs. Arcelanian would like to come up and say a couple more quick things.
And the Mentor schools and Ridge, and all of his students, I'm sure, are appreciative of all the music knowledge that he has passed on to them. As a token of our appreciation for Music Mentors for all of his years of service and all of the dedication he's given to our children, we have a small gift for him.
It's been quite a ride, so let me explain. My mother's favorite flowers were the gladiolas that I've been passing out. The best analogy I have for teachers, and I'm going to try to do the stats. Mrs. Allen, the band director at Shore, did her senior project with me. As Mr. Primba said, there are many Mrs. Blue did her student teaching with me. My analogy is, I don't want to shine. I want to be the stalk, and the student is the flower. And gladiolas, you know, are just beginning to bud out like the trees were last spring. That's what I think middle school is. They come in knowing like 6 notes. And then you hear things like what you've heard on the stage here. I've tried to cover a gamut of sound. Students, music is something people don't shove into you. I try to bring it out. Go to summer band. That's where a lot of these pieces, you know, will become your favorites. Don't give up on the music. It's about this much talent and about this much perspiration. Okay? Stick with it. It'll really pay off. Thank you, everybody. You know that part of my Shelton thing is that we do lots of things in minor keys, always include a swing piece, and then there are places where I go in the band and do that. This is not where I plan to do that tonight. We are missing a key player, a very good tuba player, who unfortunately may have misplaced his priorities tonight. But we will do what we can. Mr. Yole is helping us out. We have Parker, good grief. Brad Parker from the high school, who struggled when he was at Ridge, but he's at the high school and we've heard him, and man, that guy has really gotten good. That's terrific. Fantastic. So, The next two numbers are pop tunes. I'm dedicating not this one, we're going to do Shake It Off, and then we're going to do Happy, which I will dedicate to my brother, Mark, who's in the audience. He marched in the high school band, played bass drum, marching band, and played Mallet's March with the Marion Cadets, and is a fine percussionist. Music was something in our household that our parents made sure that we balanced out. I lettered in 3 sports. We were going to do well in school, but music is a part of what makes us completely human. Thanks for letting us be a part of that experience for you tonight. I was supposed to, before that last number, show off the fantastic bass line stuff that we have, and again emphasize to 6th graders, did you know, Megan, did you notice that it wasn't the melody that kept that song alive, it was the bum 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 ba-dum. The rest punctuate the sound. Notes are easy. There we go. Who's that guy back there on the bass guitar? This is the letter I wrote about Justin Hellinger, who has come in to do something never before done. We have a lot of that tonight. Dear Educational Assistance Foundation, I enthusiastically recommend Justin Hellinger as an exemplary student, thoroughly prepared for collegiate studies and deserving college scholarship support. Justin has demonstrated continuous growth as a student, band leader, and retail salesperson over the 6 years I have known him. This past year was especially notable because he volunteered to invest his early morning open time during tutoring the 8th grade band at Ridge Middle School, where I was band director. Or I was the band director when he was at Ridge Middle School. No one has ever done this in my 28 years teaching and mentoring. He was there every week, a paragon of reliability, leadership by example. Justin really helped the band achieve its potential. He has cultivated the principles of organization and philanthropy as a young man. This comes on top of Justin's signal role as a field commander for the Mentor High Fighting Cardinal Marching Band. Remember those times, Angela? My daughter was field commander too. Last fall, they achieved what no other Mentor graduating class has achieved: 2 consecutive years of the highest rating possible by the Ohio Music Educators Association. The grit, determination, and savvy required to coordinate such a large ensemble is evidence of Justin's splendid efficacy, not only at doing things right, but by also doing the right things with passion and integrity. He also works at Office Max, where I observed him on many occasions taking care of customers who are often confused by their assortment of options. Justin patiently asks questions to help guide their choice, just as he has taken the same perspicacious approach to his own future. I absolutely am convinced a scholarship for Justin, who intends to major in computer engineering, will yield a return benefit to all the people and organizations with whom he contracts in the future, perhaps some even in your own dealers association and affiliates. Yours truly, Tim Shelton, Director of Bands. We have little tokens for you, Justin. I've been fortunate in my career to foster 3 and soon 4 professional composers. When I was a student teacher in Anderson, Indiana, the band director called me over and there was this guy named Richard Saucedo, and he said, watch this, Shelton. And he says, Richard, you know, you're a fine drummer. I think you ought to grow in the drum corps, and I think you ought to write some stuff. And Richard said, really, Mr. Hoffman, do you think so? And he said, what do you think, Mr. Shelton? And I said, yes. And if you publish, I will buy everything that you do. Don't make a promise like that, because most of the music that he does, he composes now, and if you want a piece done by him, you have to wait about 2 years, and it's $1,000 a performance minute. That's Richard Saucedo. He's world famous. The next one was Steve Mazzaro. He's right here from Mentor, played alto sax in the band, did his senior project in composing. I still have the original manuscript. If you've played Assassin's Creed, he's the one who did the music for that. He got famous and then was discovered out in LA, and he did some of the sound score work for Batman, and his name actually appears on the credits for the new Superman movie. So that's the second one. The third one is this guy right over here. Max Weiss is a composition major at Akron U. He came in playing trumpet, switched over to French horn. There are things you only learn about composing from inside the band, listen to the bottom. He's a fine musician, and Lani Akea is a Hawaiian phrase that means endless heavens. It is also the name of the interstellar galactic complex, 8,000 galaxies of which we are a part. You will hear all those themes done in here. Max, welcome to the stage, and you are one of those big flowers on one of those stalks, so don't leave without it. premiere. It was written expressly for Mentor Ridge bands, and that's never been done before, and Paul Harvey, the rest of the story. It was paid for by a shared student of ours, Brian Newman. Went to Memorial. I had him for private lessons, used to hang out with my Brian. He is now touring the country as a part of Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett's jazz solo. He's a fine trumpet player in his own right. We tried many times to have him in for a clinic. He's just professionally too busy. We tried a virtual clinic. It fell through. He's just literally too busy on 2 continents. So a former student helped a former student do his first commission for her first band. I like it when we do first things. That's great. If you enjoyed tonight's concert, you know what I'm going to say, right? Take them out for custard, ice cream, something nice and cool if you think they practiced enough. If not, have them play the piece that you think they need to practice more, then take them out for ice cream. Students, please take care of your instruments, and we will, it's been a fantastic ride and Mentor. I wish you all the best. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.